Silent Hill for the PlayStation. Probably one of my favorite PlayStation games overall. It's probably a toss-up between Resident Evil and this. Now, Resident Evil gets kudos for being the original. It's the first. I mean, it predates this game by many, many years. But man, does this game ever improve on a lot of things. And if you're into the survival horror kind of games, if you like Resident Evil, then you probably already know what this game is. But if not, this is Silent Hill. This game was developed and published by Konami in Japan. It's similar to Resident Evil in a lot of ways, but it's improved in a lot of ways. And this game came out in 1999, so, you know, closer to the end of the PlayStation compared to Resident Evil, which was basically the first killer app for the PlayStation. It came out in, I believe, 1996. So, you know, this is 3 years later, so obviously, I mean, it's improved in every conceivable way. But the game is great, the storyline is great, it's scary as all holy hell. Of course, there's now a movie, which is pretty closely based on the game, and the movie's pretty good, I thought, too. I mean, especially as a big fan of the game, of course. But here it starts off. You can see the controls are 3D, and the actual graphics are real-time 3D. Now, it does change once in a while, and of course that's going to come up now, just as I'm talking about the 3D controls. Now it's in a Resident Evil style control, where you rotate your character, and up is always forward. So some of the scenes in the game do play like Resident Evil in terms of the controls. Think of it like Resident Evil Code Veronica, where it's real-time 3D, but it's still using like the pre-rendered controls. Really good lighting in this game, as we're about to see. I mean, considering we're talking about the PlayStation here, and you know, there's really no, as far as I know, hardware lighting or at least anything advanced compared to, you know, a modern system like PlayStation 2 or obviously PlayStation 3. We're talking about the original PlayStation here, and they did an amazing job on the graphics in this game. I mean, huge open world. There's not a lot of loading. That's another great thing about this game. There's very little loading whatsoever in this game. Really, once you start playing and you get past the initial loading screen, you play through the whole game with virtually no loading times.
What is this? What's going on here?
So I've been talking and you can't really see the storyline, but basically you come to this town with your daughter, you get in a car accident, and she's now missing. And you basically just want to find her. It's as simple as that. So here's where the game really begins.
Hold it.
You meet this first character. I can't remember her name. I think it's Sybil. She's a police officer.
I've got to find her.
She gives you a gun. And that's, like I said, basically where the game starts. Now you've got your weapon.
It's dangerous out there.
Once again, this is real-time 3D, the entire game.
Now. Cheryl's my little girl.
So in some ways, Resident Evil might look better if you look at a still shot. But in Resident Evil, all the backgrounds are actually just, they're bitmapped. They're just two-dimensional.
No.
The characters are 3D over top of a two-dimensional picture.
Take this.
And it was a trick they used back then to, you know, give you that real photorealistic 3D environment without actually using a 3D engine.
Before you pull
this game here is real-time 3D. So as you can see, never mind, more storyline.
What's that? Huh.
Now you find out that this radio, whenever there's enemies nearby, emits like a static sound. So of course there's an enemy nearby. And that's really the first enemy that you encounter. As you can see, he's kind of freaking out. So you take the radio, of course, because when you have the radio, whenever enemies come, if you have the radio turned on, you can tell when enemies are nearby. So it's kind of neat. So you give these clues, these kind of hints as to where your daughter is as you're still following her, trying to find her. Now once again, here's the 3D controls. You know, up walks forward, and you steer them. It's not like Resident Evil controls. Now obviously it's constantly behind you as far as the camera goes. All the typical weapons you would expect, you know, pistol, rifle, but there's also a lot of different weapons like a knife, and you get eventually a crowbar that you can use if you don't want to waste your ammo. This is just the save screen. I figured I'd show you at once. We cut through this guy's house to get to the other end of town that's blocked off. You have to find 3 keys to get through his house. I've already got the 3 keys. I just kind of skipped that. Right now we're trying to get to the school, which is on the other end of the town. Once again, the lighting effects, really good for the system. I think graphically there's not many games that push the PlayStation quite like this one here. Like I said, large real-time 3D world, you know, the lighting. There's not a huge view distance because, you know, they use a lot of fog effect, which obviously is a technical way to hide view distance, but in this game, the Silent Hill, the town, is the way it's haunted. It's a ghost town, is that there's always a lot of fog. So it's kind of both technical and it's just part of the gameplay anyways. So here you can see we're coming up to the school. Don't forget to go on the school bus because there's some health and a save point in the school bus. Once again, the lighting is just awesome. I mean, there's parts in this game that just blew me away, you know, considering it was a PlayStation game for the time. Now, you don't kill the enemies when they're lying on the ground, they're still not dead yet. You can either shoot them again or just walk up to them and kick them. Obviously, saving bullets and just kicking them for that last hit when they're on the ground is the smarter thing to do. So now we're in the school, which is one of the main areas of this game. Next to, I guess, the hospital's the next big area, which takes a big part of the game, is in the hospital. Now, one crazy thing about this game is that there's kind of like 2 worlds. There's like normal world, which you're in now, and then there's like Silent Hill world, where everything goes like backwards. And it flips between these 2 worlds where everything's the same, but everything's kind of different. And sometimes things will be there in the dark world that aren't there in the normal world. And your character doesn't know if he's dreaming or what's going on, and even you playing the game, you don't know. When he wakes up from the dark world, it's like, was that a dream? It has this really cool feel to it. The game's really creepy, it's really eerie. Has a lot of this sort of same kind of puzzles that, you know, Resident Evil has. I think it controls better, and you know, it's faster paced because of the real-time 3D engine. And unfortunately I'm running out of time. I'd love to show you guys more of this game, but that's how it goes. Check it out if you like these kind of games. Like I said, this is an absolute must-have. It's up there with the original Resident Evil. It's one of the best survival horror games. It's freaking creepy as hell. pretty good graphics considering it's on the old PlayStation system. So, like I said, if you haven't checked this out, check it out. But I mean, the fact is, this game is so great that if you're already a Resident Evil fan, you probably already at least know about this game. But anyways, I'm out of here.